Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ironworker Gaming channel. I am Ironworker814 and we have another Destiny 2 PvP viewer requested weapon review today, where we take a look at pros, cons, stats, and damage numbers. This review was requested by Tennis Zekron, and the weapon we're taking a look at today is Bygones. The other night on stream, the topic of weapon sunsetting came up, and some very interesting points were made. I'm pretty certain we're not going to see a full new suite of weapons for Crucible, Vanguard, or Gambit in Beyond Light. This is definitely something I'd like to see, but it just doesn't sound like this is a possibility. So what the heck's going to be dropping in these playlists? Maybe we'll have a chance of snagging some fresh loot, but I foresee a lot of reprised gear dropping. Which brings us to Bygones. I can speculate with a fair bit of certainty that this weapon is going to be reintroduced at some point. If not right off the bat when Beyond Light releases, I'd expect to see it again sometime this upcoming year, hopefully with some fresh perks. I feel this way because Bygones was always one of the community's favorite weapons obtainable through Gambit, mainly for its potency in the Crucible. This weapon, when the sandbox leaned hard toward a pulse rifle meta, Bygones thrived. This weapon was very lethal and very consistent. But we're living in an auto rifle world right now, so how is Bygones holding up currently? We'll take a look at that in this review and see if Bygones is still worth picking up in the Crucible. And if you do find yourself enjoying this video, hitting the like button and hitting the subscribe button are two totally free and easy ways to show this channel and this video some support. But we'll kick things off by taking a look at Bygones' stats and damage numbers. Bygones is a legendary kinetic adaptive frame pulse rifle shooting at 390 rounds per minute with a base 39 rounds in the magazine. The stats are all above average across the board when compared to all other pulse rifles regardless of the archetype. Checking the hidden stats on light.gg, we have an aim assist value of 61, a bounce intensity of 31, and this weapon's recoil direction does tend to the left. For the usage rate on Destiny Tracker, we can see that Bygones still is getting a fair bit of play in the Crucible, sitting at the 46th most used gun in quick play game modes over the past month. Intrinsically, adaptive frame weapons have a well-rounded grip, are reliable, and sturdy. The Bygones we're taking a look at here has served me well for a very long time. It has arrowhead break, increasing the weapon's handling and really straightening out the recoil direction of the burst. I have flared magwell for the increased reload speed, as well as the always effective outlaw kill clip combination for lightning fast reloads after precision kill and a 30% damage buff. The one I'm using is masterworked in stability, and I am running a targeting adjuster mod, although swapping this out for a counterbalanced stock would not be a terrible idea. For the damage numbers, Bygones will do 31 points of damage on a crit and 20 points of damage to the body, giving us an optimal time to kill of 0.93 seconds, requiring 5 crits and 2 body shots, and a body shot time to kill of 1.4 seconds, requiring 10 shots landed. As for the effective range, Bygones is going to deal full damage from up to 33 meters away. The damage fall off is very gradual and will finally bottom out at 67 meters, where you'll be hitting for 16 points of damage on a crit and 10 points of damage to the body. And with that, let's head into the pros and talk about what this weapon does well in the Crucible. First off, as we talked about earlier, Bygones' stats look really solid across the board. While nothing stands out as exceedingly strong, there are no big holes or shortcomings that we need to account for either. And as with all legendary weapons, it's your perk combinations that really factor into the performance of a gun more than anything else. And with Bygones, we do have some good ones. The full perk set is on screen, but I would like to highlight a few. I really do like arrowhead break as the barrel option to make that recoil closer to true vertical. But any barrel perk that can boost the stability of a pulse rifle will help out regardless of whether you're playing on PC or console. For the magazine, I'm totally fine with flared magwell, but ricochet rounds may be the overall best choice in this column. Then in perk column 1 we have 2 damage dealing perks. You can get rampage or you can get kill clip. But you can also find opening shot and rangefinder on this weapon. The only one that you might not want to see for PvP is high impact reserves, but if that's the worst we can do, we're not doing too bad. Then in column 2, you do have outlaw, but slide shot will make this gun more stable and accurate. And with the amount of sliding around that we do in the Crucible, this is a perk that will get a lot of uptime. Bygones is a great weapon for covering lanes and choke points. It feels very accurate and carries a respectable amount of aim assist, making it easy to land shots and lock down lanes from a distance. Also, it's a weapon that lends itself to a more passive playstyle. Bygones can be very rewarding if you're fine with sitting back and chipping away at enemy guardians from a safe distance. And after that initial kill, if you have kill clip, you're no longer going to be chipping away at a guardian's health, you'll be taking it down in chunks. This perk actually allows Bygones to hit for 41 on a crit and 26 to the body, dropping its optimal time to kill when the perk is activated to 0.62 seconds, requiring only 5 crits. But at base, while the 0.93 second time to kill isn't great, it only requires 5 crits and 2 body shots. And this bullet combination is as friendly as you're gonna find in the weapon class, making it a pretty good option for those players who are less precise. But this, paired with the very gradual damage fall off, allows you to deal lethal damage in 3 bursts from around 50 meters away, provided that you land all 9 crits doing 22 points of damage apiece. And while the body shot time to kill is not overly impressive at 1.4 seconds, in the weapon class it's only bested by the lightweight frame pulse rifles. But with that, let's take a look at a few drawbacks. Well, for the cons, not too many come to mind, but there are a few. Bygones is not an auto rifle, and currently that can kind of be a problem. If you've caught any of my other reviews, you're probably well aware of my take on this matter, so I won't get into the whole spiel. But pulse rifles in general just don't have a whole lot of breathing room in the current sandbox. Next, as much as I'd like it to be, it's not really an effective counter-sniping weapon. High caliber rounds might help out your cause, but Bygones doesn't seem to add a whole lot of flinch to an enemy target at base. And even when peek shooting from cover, it does take 3 trigger pulls to down a single target, so that's 3 chances that a sniper has to put a shot on your face. And the 0.93 second time to kill is pretty slow. It is nice that Bygones can be used from safer ranges, but a lot of the time that slow time to kill gives enemy players time to break line of sight and find some cover. Also, it's really not a great option for those who like to push the pace and play extremely aggressive in PvP. It's not a terribly agile weapon and performs best when you have a little bit of space between you and your target. All in all, I think Bygones is still a reasonably good choice for the Crucible. I was able to put some pretty good rounds together while testing this weapon for this review. I was always very mindful of my positioning though, and carefully picked my engagements. Anytime I got a little overzealous or less thoughtful about my gunfights, I got punished. But when I held back just a touch and really played to the weapon's strengths, Bygones still felt very good. And as I said earlier, I don't think we've heard the last of Bygones just yet. I highly anticipate seeing a Year 4 version of this weapon resurface. It's hard to say how much the perk pool will shift when it's re-released, but as it sits now, it's just a few sandbox changes away from becoming a very strong Crucible weapon once again. But if you did enjoy the video, both liking and subscribing are greatly appreciated. If you'd like to catch me live, you can look for Ironworker814 on Twitch. I'm really going to focus on getting at least 1 stream in per week. It's always a great time and I love hanging out with you guys. You could also follow Ironworker814 on Twitter, but the easiest way to get a hold of me is simply by commenting down below. I'll be sure to get back to you. And with all that being said, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out this weapon review. You guys are awesome, and I will catch you on the next one.